Hi, I'm Anna. I've always believed family means everything. That's why I welcomed Michael into our lives when my daughter Lily married him 5 years ago. I even defended him when my sister Carmen called him too controlling at their wedding reception. You're being paranoid, Carmen, I told her as we watched the newlyweds dance. He's just protective of her. Carmen swirled her champagne, her eyes never leaving the couple. There's protective and then there's possessive. Notice how he's barely let her speak to anyone without him hovering? It's their wedding day. He wants to be with his bride. Maybe, Carmen said, her voice dropping. Just promise me you'll keep an eye on things. I've seen that look before, and it never ends well. I brushed off her concerns, but over the years, I started noticing things, like how Lily's visits became less frequent, how she'd cancel plans last minute with vague excuses, how she'd flinch when Michael entered the room. Sweetie, is everything okay with you two? I asked during one of our rare coffee dates. Lily's smile was too quick, too practiced. Of course, Mom. We're just busy with work and Michael's family needs a lot of our time. His mom's been sick. You know you can tell me anything, right? There's nothing to tell, she insisted, checking her phone for the third time in 5 minutes. Oh, I should go. Michael's waiting. I didn't push. That was my first mistake. Then came that Tuesday night. My phone rang at 11:38 p.m. I'll never forget the time displayed on my bedside clock when my world tilted on its axis. Mom. Lily's voice was barely a whisper, broken by sobs. I'm at Memorial Hospital. Can you come? I was already grabbing my keys. What happened? Are you okay? They attacked me. Michael's family. They said I was dishonoring them. Michael just watched, Mom. He just stood there and watched. My blood turned to ice. I'm coming right now. Are you safe? Are they still there? No. A neighbor called the police when they heard the screaming. I'm with a nurse now. Stay where you are. I'm on my way. I called Carmen from the car, my hands shaking on the steering wheel. They hurt her, Carmen. You were right about him. Where are you? I'll meet you there. Memorial Hospital. Carmen. She sounded so scared. This isn't your fault, Anna. Isn't it? I should have seen the signs. I should have done something. We'll do something now. Carmen's voice hardened with resolve. We'll make sure they never touch her again. At the hospital, I found Lily in a curtained-off section of the emergency room. Her face was swollen, one eye bruised shut, her lip split. A nurse was gently cleaning a cut on her arm. Oh, my baby, I whispered, rushing to her side. Lily broke down when she saw me, her good eye flooding with tears. They all came to our house. His parents, his brothers. They were screaming about how I embarrassed their family at the dinner last night. I didn't even do anything, Mom. I just disagreed with his father about politics. Where was Michael during all this? I asked, though I already knew the answer. He stood in the corner. When I begged him to help me, he said I needed to learn respect. Her voice cracked. 5 years, Mom. 5 years and he just stood there while his family beat me. The nurse, Sarah, according to her name tag, touched my arm gently. The police want to speak with her when she's ready. And she hesitated. There are marks that suggest this isn't the first time. Lily wouldn't meet my eyes. It wasn't, she admitted. But it was always just Michael before. Never his whole family. Carmen arrived, taking in the scene with rage building in her eyes. This ends now, she said, pulling out her phone. My friend David is a family lawyer. We're calling him right now. As Lily spoke with the police officer who arrived, Detective Marshall, I felt something harden inside me. This wouldn't be swept under the rug. This wouldn't be forgiven. Michael and his family would learn what happens when you hurt someone I love. We'll need to document everything, Detective Marshall said, his deep voice gentle but firm. Every incident you can remember, Mrs. Chen. This will help build our case. Case? Lily looked terrified. They'll come after me if I press charges. No, I said, taking her hand. They'll have to go through me first, and I promise you, they won't win this time. Over the next 2 weeks, we built our case meticulously. Detective Marshall introduced us to District Attorney Valerie Torres, a fierce woman with a perfect record prosecuting domestic violence cases. The Chen family has influence in this community, Valerie warned us in her office, surrounded by case files. They own half the real estate downtown. But I've taken down bigger fish. Will that be enough to get justice for my daughter? I asked. Valerie leaned forward, her dark eyes intense. Not just justice, Mrs. Morales. Consequences. I need every piece of evidence we can find. Text messages, emails, witnesses to previous incidents. Michael was always careful, Lily said quietly. Never in public, never where anyone could see. Someone always sees something, Carmen interjected. What about your neighbor, the one who called the police? Mrs. Patel, Lily nodded slowly. She brought me food sometimes when Michael was away on business. I think she suspected. Let's talk to her, I suggested. Mrs. Patel welcomed us into her apartment with concerned eyes. I've been worried about you, Lily, ever since that night. Mrs. Patel, did you ever notice anything unusual at our house before? Lily asked hesitantly. The older woman's hands twisted in her lap. I heard things. Arguments, things breaking. Once I saw bruises on your wrist when you were collecting your mail. You said you fell, but... She shook her head. Would you be willing to tell the police what you saw and heard? I asked gently. Of course, she said firmly. I should have done something sooner. I was afraid of causing trouble. You called the police that night, Lily reminded her. You probably saved my life. Our next stop was Michael's workplace. His assistant, Jake, met us in the coffee shop across the street, nervously checking over his shoulder every few minutes. I shouldn't be talking to you, he said, voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Chen would fire me immediately. Please, I implored. My daughter's safety is at stake. Jake sighed, rubbing his temples. Look, everyone at the office knows about his temper. He throws things, screams at people. Last year's Christmas party, he grabbed Lily's arm so hard it left marks because she was talking too long to the CEO. Did anyone say anything? Carmen demanded. Are you kidding? His family owns the company. But... He hesitated. I have recordings. Our conference room automatically records meetings, and he said some threatening things about Lily in there. He doesn't know the system saves everything to the cloud. Those recordings could be crucial, I said, hope building. As we left, Michael's brother Ryan approached us in the parking lot, his face twisted with anger. What do you think you're doing? He snarled. Snooping around, spreading lies about our family? I stood my ground. The only lies here are the ones your family tells about being respectable people. You have no idea who you're messing with, he threatened, stepping closer. This is a family matter. Lily belongs with us. My daughter doesn't belong to anyone, I replied, my voice ice cold. And she certainly doesn't deserve what you people did to her. Michael says she's been acting crazy, making things up, Ryan insisted. She needs help, not police involvement. Carmen stepped between us. The only ones who need help are all of you. Professional help, preferably in a prison therapy program. This isn't over, Ryan spat, retreating toward his car. You're right about that, I called after him. Back at my apartment, which had become Lily's refuge, we shared our findings with Detective Marshall and DA Torres. We've got Mrs. Patel's statement, Detective Marshall said, plus hospital records documenting injuries consistent with ongoing abuse. The recordings from Jake could be our smoking gun. What about Michael's family? I asked. They were all involved in the attack. Valerie nodded grimly. We're building separate cases against each participant. The neighbor's 911 call captured audio of multiple voices threatening Lily. We've identified Michael's parents and both brothers. They'll claim I provoked them, Lily said, fear creeping back into her voice. That's what they always do. Twist everything to make it my fault. Not this time, I promised, squeezing her hand. This time, we have proof. The preliminary hearing arrived faster than expected. The courthouse steps were crowded with reporters. The Chen family's prominence had made this a local news story. Inside, we came face to face with Michael and his family for the first time since the attack. They sat together on the opposite side of the courtroom, a united front of expensive suits and cold stares. During a recess, Michael approached Lily in the hallway while I stood at the water fountain. I rushed over as he towered over her trembling form. "Lily, baby, this has gone too far," he said, his voice a parody of concern. "You know my family gets passionate sometimes. We can work this out between us." "There is no us anymore, Michael," Lily replied, her voice stronger than I'd heard in years. "Don't be dramatic. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? You need me," he insisted, reaching for her hand. I stepped between them. "Touch her, and I'll have you arrested for violating the restraining order." Michael's charming mask slipped. "This is your doing, isn't it? Filling her head with ideas? Turning her against me?" "You did that all by yourself," I replied evenly. 5 years of marriage thrown away over one bad night," he hissed, his eyes darting around to ensure no one else was listening. "One bad night?" Lily laughed bitterly. "What about the time you threw me down the stairs because dinner was cold? Or when you locked me in the closet for 6 hours because I got a phone call from a male colleague?" "I was protecting you." Michael's voice rose slightly before he controlled it. "Everything I did was for your own good." "Hurting someone isn't protection," Lily said firmly. "It's abuse, and I'm done pretending otherwise." "You're making a mistake," he warned, his face darkening. "My family doesn't lose. Ever. There's always a first time," I interjected. Michael's father approached, placing a restraining hand on his son's shoulder. "Michael, the judge is returning. Miss Morales?" He nodded stiffly at Lily. "This situation has been blown out of proportion. We're prepared to offer a generous settlement if you drop these ridiculous charges." "Not interested," Lily replied immediately. "Be reasonable," he insisted. "Do you really want to air all this dirty laundry in public? Think about your reputation." "I'm more concerned about my daughter's safety than anyone's reputation," I countered. "Then you're a fool," the elder Chen snapped. "We built this town. You think anyone will take your side against us?" Carmen appeared at my side, accompanied by Detective Marshall. "Is there a problem here?" the detective asked pointedly. "No problem," Michael's father said smoothly. "Just a family discussion." "We're not family anymore," Lily stated clearly. As we turned to walk away, Michael grabbed Lily's arm, his fingers digging into her skin. "You're not walking away from me," he growled, all pretense gone. "You think you can humiliate me like this? Let go of her," I demanded, as Detective Marshall moved forward. Instead of releasing her, Michael shoved Lily hard against the wall. "This is your fault," he shouted as the detective tackled him to the ground. "You ungrateful bitch! After everything I've done for you!" People in the hallway gasped, phones recording the outburst as Michael continued shouting threats while being handcuffed. "You'll regret this! My family will make sure you never work in this town again. We'll destroy you!" D.A. Torres appeared, taking in the scene with grim satisfaction. "Well, that certainly helps our case. Threatening a witness in front of a courthouse full of people and law enforcement? Not his smartest move." As Michael was led away, still hurling threats, I hugged my shaking daughter. "It's okay," I whispered. "He just showed everyone exactly who he really is." The trial lasted 3 weeks. With Michael's courthouse outburst, Jake's recordings, medical records, and multiple witness testimonies, the evidence was overwhelming. The jury deliberated for just 4 hours before returning with guilty verdicts for Michael and all 4 family members involved in the attack. At the sentencing hearing, Judge Rivera addressed the courtroom with barely contained disgust. "Mr. Chen, you and your family have demonstrated a disturbing pattern of abuse, intimidation, and entitlement. This court sentences you to 8 years for aggravated assault and criminal threatening. Your family members will serve between 3 and 5 years each, based on their level of involvement." Michael stood impassively as the sentence was read, but his mother broke into theatrical sobs. "This is an outrage," she cried. "We are pillars of this community." "Mrs. Chen," Judge Rivera said sharply, "your family status doesn't place you above the law. Perhaps this sentence will give you time to reflect on that fact." Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed us. "Lily, how does it feel to see justice served?" one shouted. Lily, who had grown stronger with each day of the trial, spoke clearly into the microphones. "This isn't just a victory for me. It's for every person trapped in an abusive relationship who believes they have no way out. There is always a way, and there are always people willing to help." Later that evening, as we celebrated with Carmen, Detective Marshall, and DA Torres at my apartment, my phone rang with an unknown number. It was Michael's sister-in-law, Teresa, the only family member not involved in the attack. "Anna, please." Her voice trembled. "Can I speak with Lily? The family is in ruins. The business is collapsing without leadership. We need to find a way to move forward together." "There is no together, Teresa," I replied firmly. "Your family made their choices." "But they're sorry now," she insisted. "Michael asks for forgiveness every time I visit him. He's changed. He swears it." I laughed without humor. "Changed after 3 weeks in prison? I don't think so. At least let Lily talk to him. One phone call? Absolutely not." I cut her off. "My daughter is rebuilding her life. She doesn't need to hear Michael's lies anymore." "You've destroyed our family," Teresa accused bitterly. "No, Teresa. Your family destroyed itself when they decided violence was acceptable. Now you all get to live with those consequences." After hanging up, I rejoined the others. Lily was laughing at something Carmen said, a sound I hadn't heard in years. "Everything okay, Mom?" she asked, noticing my expression. "Perfect," I assured her. "Just a telemarketer." Detective Marshall raised his glass. "To Lily, the bravest woman I've met in 20 years on the force." "And to Anna," Valerie added, "who showed us all what a mother's love can accomplish." Later, after everyone had left, Lily and I sat on the balcony watching the stars. "I was so afraid, Mom," she confessed. "Not just of Michael, but of being alone, of starting over." "You're never alone," I promised. "And sometimes starting over is the best thing that can happen to us." "When does it stop hurting?" she asked softly. "I don't know if it ever completely stops," I admitted. "But it gets better. Each day gets a little easier than the one before." Lily leaned her head on my shoulder. "I keep thinking about other women in my situation. Some don't have a mom like you fighting for them." "Maybe that's your next chapter," I suggested. "Using your experience to help others." She nodded slowly, considering this. "Maybe it is." As the night air wrapped around us, I felt something I hadn't expected in this journey. Hope. Not just for Lily's future, but for all those still searching for the courage to break free. What would you do if someone you loved was being hurt? Would you have the strength to fight for them, even against powerful enemies? Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is simply refuse to look away.